I'm a chef on a hunting ranch, and here's a little day in my life. I came to the lodge around 10 o'clock and got my morning started with a cup of coffee and some of that homemade creamer that I made. Our client was coming just after lunch, so I had a few hours to get ahead of things. I started making 2 gallons of sweet tea. I have to make this 2 gallons at a time. We go through so much sweet tea. On the day that hunters arrive, typically we'll do a mid-afternoon little appetizer followed by dinner and dessert, but they told us that they had already eaten and were stuffed, so they would just wait until dinner. So I went ahead and got started on my dessert so that was out of the way. I was serving a pear and almond loaf cake that I just served with some honey whipped cream. Typically, I keep dessert super simple. It's either brownies, mainly cookies. They love the chocolate chip cookies, but I wanted to do something a little extra since I had the time. So I went with a cake and I actually plated and served it, and it was super fun. I don't normally do it, but everybody really enjoyed it. So I will definitely be taking the time in the future to do more plated desserts. This loaf cake was honestly so pretty. I loved the way it turned out. While that was baking and then cooling, I got started on all of my dinner prep. I used one of Chef Alex Trim's recipes. I'll go ahead and tag him. It was like a shepherd's pie, but with pork and sweet potatoes, and it was so delicious. I like to keep a scrap bucket on my counter when I work, and I put all my veggie scraps in there, and then I freeze them in a gallon bag so that I can use them for veggie or chicken stock later on. I cut up my pork shoulder into some bigger chunks, got it heavily salted, and then searing in my Dutch oven. This version of shepherd's pie was perfect and will definitely be on some future menus. It wouldn't feel like a typical work day unless I burnt myself on something, so I got that out of the way before I started cooking down my veggies. I was also working on 2 breads. I was making some dinner rolls for tonight's dinner, and then I was also making some ciabatta that you'll see me stretch and fold in a second. Those were going to be for my lunch sandwiches tomorrow. Once my pork had about an hour left, I got my potatoes in the oven so that they would be done around the same time, and then it was time to shape out my dinner rolls. I'm not sure what I did right with these dinner rolls, but they turned out perfect. They were so soft. I shredded the pork and then started peeling the sweet potatoes, and I was not patient enough and was burning the heck out of my hands. I added some butter, some honey, a little bit of cinnamon, and a pinch of salt. Then I just let those mix in my KitchenAid with the whisk. My dinner rolls got an egg wash and some flaky salt. And then while those were in the oven, I started assembling my shepherd's pie. Obviously, all the pork went on the bottom, and then I piped the sweet potato on top. Then I just brushed on more cinnamon honey butter and added some chives. While everyone was eating dinner, I started plating my dessert. I forgot how fun it was to plate things. I'm definitely going to have to do more desserts like this in the future. I dusted these with a little powdered sugar, whipped cream, and a dollop of honey. I was super happy with how everything turned out. I got the kitchen cleaned up and headed to bed.